a member of the church's board of directors, and I will clarify that that is B-O-A-R-D, not B-O-R-E-D, although that may change from time to time. I have the legal duty to point out that in the event of an emergency, you should exit quickly and safely. You can go out the door that you came in, or you can use the door in the interim coffee room, but please reserve the ramp for people who need it and help them if you can. You can also exit behind the pulpit here, this exit here, or the exit down the hall and to the left. Recognizing that we all have different needs for safety, we are a mask-friendly congregation. If you see someone wearing a mask, please give them a little extra space and be mindful of touching. And if you aren't feeling well, even if it seems like just a little cough, please stay home and join us by Zoom. It is a sacred time in this week, so please, let's all turn off or silence our cell phones now so we can just be present as we celebrate joys and sit in sadness in the fullest of our being. Whatever your economic situation, whatever your citizenship or immigration status, and whatever pronouns you prefer, you are welcome here in this congregation of like-hearted individuals dedicated to welcoming, loving, giving spiritually, and seeking justice. I'd like to invite our congregational greeters to rise so that everyone can see who you are. Okay, so we have a number of people: Will, Sky, Val, Russell, and others. Please, if you are new to this congregation, please see them and they can provide you with information. And they can answer any questions, and hopefully those answers will be correct. I'm not giving them. And please fill out the yellow card, welcome card, in the back of your hymnal and put it in the collection basket during the offering if you're new. If you're so inclined, please feel free also to introduce yourself during the part of the service that we call Joys and Concern. Newcomers on Zoom, I'd like to introduce yourself to ask you to introduce yourself to other participants, and especially to our dedicated virtual usher today, Kat Lockwood. So, with that, we will begin.
Just want to say a few words about all the readings today, the opening words, the reading at the end, and even the chalice lighting. They all come from a book by John Donahue called To Bless the Space Between Us, a book of blessings. And for me, when I hear readings, like readings are often performed outward, and blessings, even though a person may say a blessing, because they're often in may this happen, that may language, blessings are about taking inward. So I invite you, as you hear the readings, to feel that. And it's a great book. Please turn in your hymnal to hymn 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Please rise as you embody your spirit for this hymn. Thank you.
Please consider the flame within yourself. Our reading to come home to yourself. May all that is unforgiven in you be released. May your fears yield their deepest tranquilities. May all that is unlived in you blossom into a future graced with love.
Now, please rise and let's state the covenant together. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
So, the offering. So, no news. I am moved into my new home. And a few Sundays ago, Bina and Nancy corralled me after service with a card and a gift. And the gift was bread, salt, flour, and sugar. And they said, "Oh, don't you know this?" And I'm like, "No, this is a gift for your new home." And then I went home, and in fact, I do know this ritual, only I know it as bread, salt, and a candle. So bread, salt, and light. And not only did I know it, but in fact, not only do I smudge my homes before I move in, but also, like my last home, which was more than 20 years ago, in fact, I had brought myself bread, salt, and a candle. But things like fall away from your mind. It's so intriguing. So in terms of offering, bread, obviously, may your home always have bread. May you always have food and nourishment of all kinds. The light, may you always have light, blessings, happiness, and the salt. The salt is the best. If you know King Lear, and also there are other myths actually in other cultures where the father asks the daughters, "How much do you love me?" And the youngest usually, like, "I love you like salt," and then she gets kicked out as if it's so unimportant. And salt is so important. It's a purifier. It also speaks of taste, because salt is a major spice, and years ago it was very important. It's also used to preserve meat. So something so humble but so valuable. So everything needs offerings, and we in our congregation need offerings. So as we come through for our offering, please be generous and know that you are supporting, and we are supporting, our shared house. Thank you. The offertory that is being played is, let me get the name right, "Take a Boat to California." This is Ami's original. This is her music. And here you go. We're good. Thank you, everyone. We promise to use your offerings, your treasure, wisely and well. We come to the time in our service in which we each and concerns in our lives. And so it's not a political announcement time. It's not, it's more personal. And to me, again, as I always say, this is the time I feel that we knit ourselves together by sharing and knowing what's happening within each of us. So if anyone feels to come up to share, please do. Say your name, share your joy and concern, and then drop a pebble in the water. so that your joy and your concern is embodied within the earth and within the water. Asking for forgiveness, really working on one's inner life and inner ethics, and it brings me such great sadness about all the fighting and wars and the stupidity in the war. And I don't just mean Israel, Gaza, the Ukraine, the Sudan, many other places. The amassing of troops on our own southern border because some people don't seem to know what to do with themselves. So I put this pebble in for my and our yearning for peace in the world.
This is a hymn in our book. It's number 415, that we will be back.
But I really did love singing that song, and it was like a welcome song. I love hearing it in this context. Thank you. Thank you, choir. So on September 5th, we were having our first worship committee meeting of the fall season. And prior to that, Ami had sent me this bouncy little email about, hi, hope you had a good summer. Is there anything I could do for your service? Meaning this service coming up September 28th. Well, we in worship had just gone through a whole summer of working and not having a summer off. I had just finally moved into my new home September 3rd, and I was not bouncy. And we had no services planned for September. We have the ones for today and for 2 in October, and we have nothing planned. So, Rev Denis, one of the things I love about Rev Denis is that I see him as a Renaissance man, that he's able to function in many different arenas, that he pulls things together, and I appreciate that. So there we are, not knowing what we're doing, and meanwhile he and I had spoken earlier, and he said, one thing you said that struck me was that Adria had said that moving made our covenant statement come to life, which was true. It was an amazing experience, which more to come. And then the other thing he said is like, well, I had a meditation. This would have been that first Wednesday in September, I guess September 3rd it was. And he said, I've been using this book of blessings by John O'Donohue. So he mentioned these things and then was gone. So this service, just part of how things happen, this is how it happened. So our covenant statement. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. It's so grand, right? To seek the truth in love, and so humble to help one another. And when I've been saying this covenant, the years I've been here, it's actually quite deep for me, and yet I live in the world as a very single person. No partner, no children, no pets, no nieces, no nephews, a scattered brother and sister who are each in their own worlds. I live that kind of existence, and I'm actually pretty happy in that existence, except it's hard when you get older and it's hard when you need help. And I've often wondered about this congregation. So I see people, but then many of the folks here then are involved in your own families. And so I've always had this it really was a wondering kind of thought, like, I love the covenant, and yet, where do I fit in? And it's been something I've thought of. You know, we are a civilization of families and dyads and stuff, if you think about it. So it turns out, in fact, I had a lot of help. I had a lot of help from people in our congregation and from others outside. And I want to share a bit about that. So I went to look at this house. I live in the village at Waters Pond. I see two folks here from that community. It's a sweet little community. And Tony Jinger came with me to even look at the house. So I'm like looking at the house, and he's going and testing that all the systems work. Later, on the second visit, he went and looked in the crawl space. He was up on the roof, took pictures, gave me the pictures. Therefore, the sellers cleaned the roof. It was a gift. It was a gift. A friend from college, Leslie, came with me the whole time I was buying it. My neighbor Greg was monumental in helping me move, and my friend Janet, a yoga buddy and a yoga teacher, came and one day seriously packed up about, 12 boxes of books. You know, she's my Capricorn friend. And folks from our congregation really came through. Jean and Penny, Sally and Penny, we were having a meeting one day, and instead of having a meeting, they came and packed up stuff for me. Jean Arthur was my angel. She organized me, dragged stuff to the storage unit I have, really kept me in. Bina gave me boxes and packing. And other things, like when my mover came through, I was able to call Taryn and use Astro movers. And I even got a refund because the moving took a little shorter time. Wasn't a lot of money, but that kind of a gift. So I feel like, the covenant came alive to me. The covenant came alive, and I just have to thank people for that very much. Now, once I moved, the land took over. You know, you think you're a human and you run things. Maybe in some cases. I don't think in my case. First of all, there's this huge pine. There is a huge pine tree. This is a little manufactured house, and the homeowner in me says, Adria, why would you buy a house surrounded by trees? It makes you so vulnerable. And yet, it's just not how I thought of it, or not how I think of it now. The pine tree is a guardian. Behind the house, so someone had fenced, it's all shade. And it's fenced in one of those black metal fences, regular, I don't know what you call that kind of fencing. It's a fence. It's made metal for a dog, and it's all shaded. And I looked at it, and it's a nice space. It's cool all summer, which is amazing. And it just felt, I wouldn't say that it felt dead, but it felt unalive. So I sat on the back porch and looked at it, and I said, so what am I to do with you? Answer came up, make a sacred space. Okay. So I started making a sacred space, and many of you know about a medicine wheel. I don't know a whole lot about a medicine wheel. I need to learn more. But the very least that one does is set up the 4 directions and a centerpiece. So I this is actually the back of the house faces south. So it's like south, north, west, thank you, and east. Thank you. I know, I see the world the other way. So west and east. And I put some big stones and crystals there, but at first I just sort of lined them up with the house. It wasn't really true magnetic direction. So then, of course, my iPhone, I have a compass, and then I readjust the stones, the east, the west, the north, south. And this took a couple of days, getting the rocks, putting them up, etc. Then I sat back after I did that, and I thought, okay, how's this? And this hawk came, and it flew really low over the center, which is a calcite crystal, flew really low from left to right, landed on the black fence there, paused, and flew away. Okay. And other things kept coming. So for example, one of the things I'm concerned with is mice. There's some holes, people say, oh, well, you live in the country, what you have to expect mice. So I've been catching mice in my old house, but the mouse traps were in a basement, and I could deal with that. There's no basement, there's only a crawl space. I don't go in the crawl space. So, and there are some mouse traps and things I found in the upstairs part of that, the regular house part. It's only one floor. So I'd be concerned about that, and two things occurred. Barbara Nowicki came, you're here, Barbara, yes, you are here, and, to talk to me about plants, and she gave me a lovely plant, and we were talking, and I said to her, I've been thinking about using spices as kind of repellent for mice, so you can use peppermint oil or clove or mint of some sort. And I said, I was thinking of buying these spearmint plants, but at the farm that I go to, they're like $5 a plant. I wanted a lot. So what does Barbara say? Oh, I have a lot of spearmint plants. And in fact, I use spearmint. I cut it down. I put it in my shed. It's kept the mice out. Well, interesting. Thank you. And then a few days later, I'm sitting on the front stoop and I look down and this little snake head comes out. It's like, whoa. Now, I'm not afraid of snakes, I think because I'm ignorant and I think that they're basically safe in Rhode Island. But what do we know about snakes? Snakes eat mice. Wow, welcome to your home. A few days later, I found a second snake outside. It could have been the same snake for all I know. I don't know this. And the final thing I'll add is that I listen to books on CD, and more now, as I hardly even listen to public radio because the news is so depressing. So I listen to books on CD, and I'm listening to this book called The Turquoise Ledge by Leslie Marmon Silko, an author I love. I wrote a master's thesis on a novel of hers. So I take this out of the library, The Turquoise Ledge, and she's just talking about her life living in the desert of Tucson. And she starts talking about picking up stones of turquoise, and then chapter after chapter after chapter of living with rattlesnakes. Okay, so I'm going to end with that because it's not exactly how do I want to say this? There are plans we put in place, and then we execute our plans, and then other things take over, and if you follow the mystical trail of all your other things, there's even more follow-up. So may your life also have such follow-up.
Elemental blessing for a new home. Before a human voice was ever heard here, this place has known the respect of stone, the friendship of the wind, always returning with news of elsewhere, whispered in seed and pollen, the thin symphonies of birdsong softening the silence, the litanies of rain rearranging the air, cascades of sunlight opening and closing days, and the glow of the moon gazing through darkness. May all that elemental enrichment bless the foundation and standing of your home. Before you came here, this place has known the wonder of children's eyes, the hope of mornings in troubled hearts, the tranquility of twilight easing the night, the drama of dreams under sleeping eyelids, the generous disturbance of birth, the anxieties of old age unclenching into grace, and the final elegance of calmly embraced death. May the life of your new home enter into this inheritance of spirit. May the rain fall kindly. May daylight illuminate your heart. May the darkness never burden. May those who dwell here in the unseen watch over your coming and going. May your life of love and promise refine and deepen the spirit of this land.
Please rise in body and spirit for our closing hymn.
And together, we extinguish this chalice, but not its light, that we take with us out into the world, sharing it with those we encounter on our journey. And Chris has some announcements. I'll have a last announcement, and we'll close.
Actually, I'll have the last announcement.
Let me go first then. Let me go first.
Okay.
All right, and then you can do the whole thing. Okay, so Lori, hi. So this was an interesting, Lori, Bradway, I hope I have your name right, is a person on Zoom whom I don't know. And Friday night I get this email. Actually, she had written an email to Rev Denny, and then I got this. And so she is moving into a neighborhood in Charlestown next week and needs some help unloading, I guess, pods, they're gonna be delivered. And so what should she do? And it's like, well, I can make the announcement, but that sort of is not an organization. I suggested that Lori contact our Helping Hands people, Kelsey and Bethany. And so I'm making the announcement that she's gonna need some help unloading. I don't know exactly, she's looking at October 2nd, October 3rd, not definite, no definite time. That's a Thursday and a Friday. And so if any of you have some upper body strength, you want to work on your upper body strength, please contact Helping Hands to help Lori move in. And Lori, I'm hoping we're going to see you at our October 5th service that Sunday.
Okay, I have some announcements. It's not often that I get the last word, but I guess today I do with that. But please read your newsletter. There's a lot going on recently, and I think that would be good to check on that. One of the things is that Rev Denny is having Beverages and Banter on October 1st. That's a very notable day because that's my birthday. I don't think that's why he's doing it with that. There's also a grassroots organizing panel conversation at the UUSC on October 5th, so please keep that in mind. Trish Hindley is having a yard and trunk sale on October 11th, and we need more volunteers, so see Trish at the coffee hour for more information with with that. And now the final oh, she's not here, okay, so write her a note, send her an email. The final announcement is that we are going to have a fundraiser here on November 2nd from 3 to 5 in the afternoon. It's going to be an afternoon of music. And the fundraiser is basically going to be something where we're going to sell tickets to raise money for improving the music environment for the children in this congregation, and also for those that are participating in music to make that nicer. It's a great sort of event. Somehow I was able to get the cooperation of Joe Perillo. He's a very noted jazz pianist, and just recently got inducted into the Rhode Island Music Hall of Fame. And he has agreed to be part of this. And I'm going to do a couple of songs with Joe. So because he's so good, I'll probably be playing air piano, you know, to let him go. Paula Claire is also going to be part of this. And George DeSalt, who is a fantastic jazz guitar player. But that's not all. In addition to my participating, we're going to have Ami singing, we're going to have Bina singing, we're going to have Nick Smith and his trio playing, and it's going to be a very nice sort of event. So that will be posted in the newsletter. We're going to spread the word about this, but I think this will be a very fantastic sort of thing to have really, really top quality music, and also provide some funding for especially providing more musical encounters for the children in this congregation. So, that being said, I guess we need to close with our closing song. So if we can all get into a circle.